Hey, what's up everyone? Eric Rossi to go with you here. I want to talk about the Nikon 105mm leaked lens. What? Now, there was going to be this leaked lens, and it was pretty much going to be this Nikon 105mm, but I wasn't going to be 100% sure on what it was. And now it's finally all over the place, and that's going to pretty much be leaked and announced, most likely in this upcoming week or two. And it is the Nikon 105mm f1.4, which essentially would be the world's fastest 105mm essentially portrait lens. And that's just pretty interesting. I mean, they kind of have a mock-up here of what it's going to look like, and it looks, if this is, to be what it's going to be, that's going to be pretty small for 105mm, but this is a big deal because it's going to be the fastest 105mm lens, and that's a very popular focal length for people. Typically, people like to do 85mm f1.4s. It's one of the most popular selling lenses for portrait photographers, and 105, especially with Nikon with their micro or macro lens, but it's a 2.8 and it's a macro lens. So, but I have that. I get dual uses out of that. I'll talk about in a second. So this is something really cool, and I think that it's going to, so it says right here, it's going to be announced this week and will hit stores basically next month to the day, August 26, 2016. So that's pretty cool as it is. But an interesting caveat to something like this, if you notice from here, it most likely will not have vibration reduction, which a lot of people, and once again, like I have this lens, was a big thing for this. But one of the biggest things obviously is going to come down to the price. I mean, it's going to be basic. It's going to look like the 85, maybe 1.8mm. Which is essentially what it looks like right here. And I think this is pretty much what it's going to be. We can obviously, when it becomes fully official, we can talk about it more, but the estimated price is going to be about $2,200, which is pretty astronomical for what it is, but it falls in line with what they want to do. But I mean, at that price point, you can get a 70-200 version 2 essentially, and you get more versatility out of that. So the pricing probably isn't smart on something like this, but just to show you what else is out there, Nikon has the 105 f2.8 macro lens that's also, phenomenal, but it's a 2.8, it's not a 1.4. But if you get really close to something, I mean, the bokeh is phenomenal. The telephoto side of it, everything, it's just what you want, and it has vibration reduction. The only thing though, the vibration reduction in this is extremely loud, and it's a little clunky, which I was kind of shocked when I found this. But a lot of people forget about this lens being made as well. And you can get it for like $1,200 now. This is on Amazon, but you can get the defocus control 105 f2. So, once again, it's not zoomable. It's the same thing. But the thing is, you can control the out of focus elements. That way it could be a little bit softer, a little bit more fine, which is just interesting on how these work as well. That's a whole different video in itself. But with something like this is, you could probably save more money and get something like this, be it doesn't necessarily have VR, but you could still autofocus this lens, like you're going to be able to autofocus the other one, but this is going to save you almost $1,000. So this lens might come really, I mean, it's already very popular, but it might really resurface to that as well. But since this won't have VR, you might be competing with that, since you're really not going much from 1.4 to f2, even though some would argue you are. It's too close to call. This is a really cool thing. It's extremely way overpriced, and I get it. Photography is expensive, but there's just, dumb things as pricing. Maybe if this was, $1,500 to $1,800, I could see it, especially with how they price the 85 1.4 Nikon version. But it's got competition. This is definitely going to get way more affordable. I mean, this is already affordable as it is for $900 for what it is. I use it for weddings. I use it for portraits and everything. And this is something I've always been interested in as well. And this is just going to get this much more popular because this is going to be overpriced. But the 105 f1.4 is something to talk about. And would it be something that you would use? Honestly, for me, I'm not a huge fan of shooting wide open. I like to shoot at f4 pretty much for a lot of my stuff. And especially when you have a 105, that 2.8 pretty much does exactly what you need. But people like this. People will pay a premium for this. My question to you is this something that's exciting to you? If you're a Canon shooter, Sony shooter, or anything, would you want this adapted? Would you want this something for what you need? Or are you happy with what's currently out there? Or maybe having a 70-200 f2.8? Let me know your thoughts down below. This is going to be very interesting. It's also going to be very expensive. 105 f1.4, is it for you?